Hi, I'm Marco Brown. I own Brown Family Law here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm coming to you answering the most commonly asked questions on the internet about divorce. This one is how can a mother lose a custody battle? I'm going to tell you there are 1,000 different ways a mom can lose a custody battle, but I think probably the two or three easiest ways are to be on drugs or addicted to alcohol. That one is unfortunately very common. And if that is the case, the judge is not going to look at that at all well. So if you're addicted to drugs, you're addicted to alcohol, please get yourself right. Get yourself right for yourself. Get yourself right for your kids. Because if you're a mom and you're addicted to these things, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to keep custody of your children if you get divorced or you're going through a paternity case. So I think that's number one. In fact, it's so bad. Addiction like this is so bad and kind of helpless that I don't even take money from people that are kind of in the throes of addiction going through this. I very often won't even take them on as clients because, not because I don't want to help them, but because they would be paying me a lot of money to just go in there and lose because there's not much I can do for them. So that's how bad it is. Because I'm an attorney and I will take money from anybody, but I won't take money from people in the throes of addiction because it'd just be them wasting their money. So please get yourself right, and then we can help you with your custody or divorce case. Okay, so that's number one. The second is, let's say you've been divorced and you're living with somebody new and you're undergoing or suffering through a lot of domestic violence, or perhaps you are the one committing domestic violence. Okay, but if you're a mom and you are living with somebody that's committing domestic violence against you or committing domestic violence against the kids, and your ex figures this out, then that is not going to work out well for you at all. One of the easiest way to lose custody of your children, if you're a male or a female, is to let somebody in the house who just beats on the kids or beats on you in front of the kids. Okay, so not trying to blame the victim here, just being realistic that the Division of Child and Family Services will very often take kids out of homes where they're being exposed to domestic violence on a regular basis, and if this is happening, you're very likely to lose custody of your children. So that's number two. And then number three, let's think through this. I think really abandonment is the best way to put this. So there are moms that are good moms, and then they just decide for whatever reason they don't want to be moms anymore, right? They find a new boyfriend in another state, and they leave, or they just don't want this life anymore, and they go somewhere else and leave the kids with dad, and then they end up getting divorced. And if you do that to your children, if you leave, you're not coming around, you're not seeing them, then it's very, very difficult to get custody in a divorce situation or any child custody case for that matter, because you've already given up the ghost, as it were. You've already given up the kids. And then for you to come back 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, and say, no, I want 50-50 with the kids, or I want the kids full time, the court's just not going to buy that for the most part. So if you abandon your kids, you're probably not going to get a ton of time. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't come back into your kids' lives and kind of work your way back in, but it does mean that if you've done this and you're going through a divorce, you're going through a child custody case, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to get custody, and you're very likely to lose it for a period until you work your way back into the kids' lives. Okay, so I think those are really the top three ways that women can lose custody battles here in Utah.